Hello there, my loveliest ones, and welcome back to the home of scary tales. I hope you have been keeping safe and happy since we last met. Apanth and I have spent most of the week winter-proofing our home. It was hard work, but the resulting heat is absolutely blissful. Last week, we read the thrilling first part of the story, Feeding the Ghosts. I have been on tenterhooks all week waiting to hear the conclusion. So, with no further ado, marshal your warm covers, pull on your fluffy pajamas, gather your popcorn and your cinnamon buns, and prepare to hear the second part of Feeding the Ghosts. Feeding the Ghosts. Part 2. Chapter 6. There were almost 80 houses in the old village. I made it through 12 before another family demanded blood payment. That was good. The rules said that I could not deny payment. If I ran out of flesh, then the price would be taken from my body, and I would never make it home. The second street was worse. 4 of the householders had a sickly green tinge to their skin, and each of them asked for blood. By the time I was circling to the head of 3rd Street, I was starting to worry that every household would want to be paid. Still, I hurried on, my footsteps beating out the rhythm of the old rhyme. The fairy came to Oakville town 2 weeks from Halloween and called the children from their homes to gamble on the green, and fed them bread and fairy cakes and tankards of pale beer, till not one of the youngsters thought they had a thing to fear. But Oakville's elders were afraid of what they meant to do. So it was on Halloween night that they went marching through, with torch and pitchfork, to the camp to drive the fae away. Both mortal blood and fairy blood was spilt by break of day. Both fairy blood and mortal blood. One more year circled round. And once again, the fairy fires were seen on the old ground. The ghosts of those who died that night would be paid in young blood, or every living mortal there would be drowned in a flood. The rhyme dated back to that first Halloween, after the massacre, when the spirits of men and fairies had surrounded Oakville Township and demanded recompense for their deaths. An agreement had been reached. The children of the town would each be called to complete a circuit of the camp, and 1 or 2, the unlucky ones, would pay in blood for their parents' crimes. That would be done, or every household would be stripped of life, and the town would cease to exist. Of course, the elders had made the deal, and by the next morning, the old village had appeared, where the field had been. Chapter 7. The hounds joined me when I was about halfway down 3rd Street. I heard their panting first. They were beautiful, at least at first glance. Long, sleek, and white, their fur tinged with violet. Their eyes, however, were a horrible color, jaundiced and hungry. In seconds, they had halved the distance between us. They looked at me out of their sly yellow eyes and made a crooning sound. There was as much threat in it as if they had been growling. Breathe, I told myself. Be strong. They were almost on me when I pulled the sausages from my pocket and cast them to the ground. The dogs leapt for them. In moments, the delicacies had been snapped up. The leader of the hounds met my eye, licked its lips and dipped its head. I exhaled in relief. I had bought myself a respite. Chapter 8. It took me 90 minutes to complete the circuit of the old village. By the end, I only had one chunk of meat remaining. I'd seen doors open on figures of inhuman beauty and others so ugly that I'd had to bite my tongue to keep from screaming. But I'd done it. I was finished, and it was not yet midnight. I crossed the street to the central green. The altar, stained black by the blood of many, stood at its center. When I reached the sacrificial stone, I set my bag down. Above the altar, suspended on a curl of hemp rope, hung a single silver bell. I reached out and rang it, once, twice, a third time, the silver tone piercing the night. As required by the rituals of Oakville, I declared, I have made payment to the ghosts of my forebears and those they murdered. Now I am going home. I stood there, waiting for something, an answering call. Laughter. None came. I glanced at my watch. My heart stuttered when I saw that midnight was 15 minutes away. Hurriedly, I followed the first road up the slope, towards escape and home. I knew that I was in trouble when the singing began. Chapter 9. What do the songs of fairy ghosts sound like? For your own sanity, I hope you never find out. I will not say that the singing was not beautiful, but there was sickness in the sound, a cloying sweetness. Fairy music is like a drug to the human senses. The sound chilled my blood, hanging upon my joints and muscles like leaden weights. Sleep, it said. Give up. Embrace oblivion. I shook my head. The ghosts had no claim on me. I'd given what was required. With great effort, I forced myself to continue moving. I couldn't run, of course. If I did, the creatures would be upon me in an instant. I had to be quick but steady. I had to fix my mind on home, not on my fear. If I did otherwise, Lily would never see me again. I heard footsteps behind me, first one pair, then 3, then a dozen. When the sounds of pursuit suggested a swelling throng, I knew that I could not wait any longer. I turned on the spot, holding my crucifix in the air. The fairy didn't retreat, but froze in place, hissing. Their eyes were large and dark, glimmering in the lamplight. Their faces were thin, their teeth sharp when they smiled. I was reminded of childhood games, a freeze tag played in the woods. There was one problem with that. I had always lost. Still, fool that I was, I tried to reason with them. Please, I said. I did what was demanded. I fed the ghosts. They snickered. Moments later, the group parted, and a young girl moved to the front. Once, she might have been pretty. Now, she was a skeletal creature, dressed in rags. Her eyes were still clear, though, and in her face, I saw something that reminded me of myself. My great-grandmother had been taken by the ghosts of the old village when she was 13. How could she be a great-grandmother then, you ask? Well, times were different then. She was married at 11 and had her only child, my grandmother, at 12. Her family had hoped that her physical ties to Oakville would mean she'd be spared. Instead, she had vanished on October 31st, leaving her husband to bring up her beloved daughter on his own. She knew me, I was sure. Lily had always told me that I was the spitting image of my great-grandfather. Apparently, that was not enough to make her act on my behalf. She reached a hand out to me, her long pointed nails glimmering. You fed the ghosts, she said. But sometimes, even that is not enough. They expected me to come to them. I could see it on their faces. They thought that I would walk back and lie on the sacrificial stone, letting them tear my flesh and drink my blood, until all that was left behind was a hungry specter. And after that, what? Would I become another ghoul, occupying another house in the circle, suffering an existence of darkness and cold, broken only occasionally when the veil opened on Halloween? I wasn't going to give in. The ghosts of the old village might have me this night, but I would not make it easy for them. I reached into my right-hand pocket and grasped the rock salt that Lily had given me. I dipped my head, pretending defeat. Then I drew back and cast the salt right into the midst of them. The screams that exploded from the ghosts made my ears bleed. I turned on my heel, and this time, I ran for all that I was worth. I'd made perhaps 2/3 of the way to the track into Oakville, when something, I could not tell you what, made me glance back. My great-grandmother stood, silent and unmoving, on the path. Her left hand pointed towards Oakville. She mouthed the word, "Run." Chapter 10. I ran, hoping that the chaos caused by the salt would do its work. Sadly, the screams faded quickly. I knew that the ghosts were on the hunt, in earnest when full silence fell. There were no more whoops, no more laughter. They wanted me, mind, spirit, and flesh, and they wanted me to suffer. What could I do? Already, I could feel fingers plucking at my clothes. I had one last trick up my sleeve. I'd popped the cap off a water bottle when the creatures started closing in. Now, I dumped its contents onto the path. Angry bellows followed. Lily and I had got the holy water from Oakville's minister. In plastic water bottles, the stuff looked innocuous. But even on Samhain, the blessing of God made the fluid a potent weapon. The fairy ghosts could not touch it. Every second they took to go round the blessed earth was time that I gained. Not enough time, as it turned out. In moments, they were on my heels again, their nails slicing into my skin. Suddenly, I understood why I'd been repeating the old rhyme. Part of me must have known that I would need its help. Far down in the rhyme were the words, "If ghosts now paid remain hungry, and you must run away. If you must needs slow their pursuit, then I enjoin you. Pray. Our Father," I gasped, "who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." I knew that the sound had reached my pursuers when they set up a wail. "Thy kingdom come." The ghosts roared. "Thy will be done." They screeched. "On earth as it is in heaven." I tasted blood. I crossed the border into Oakville, on the cusp of the word, Amen. Chapter 11. I burst through my front door at 11:59. Lily was sitting at the table, her head in her arms. When she saw my face, she shrieked in delight and leapt towards me, grabbing me and hugging me so tightly that I choked. "You're safe," she whispered into my hair. "You made it. You came home." "I did," I said. "Just." She put her palm on my chest, feeling for my heartbeat. "You're not a changeling? Is it really you?" "It is," I promised. "God's truth?" "Yes, Lily. God's truth." She hugged me again. "I'm not staying here," I told her, once I had recovered my breath. "I won't marry and have a child only to see them run the gauntlet of the old village. As soon as I'm old and strong enough, I'm going to leave. I want you to come with me." "Oh, honey," Lily sighed. "There is nothing that I want more." But you know the fairy ghosts won't allow us to go. Not alive. They'll have to. The calm, determined voice didn't sound like my own. Apparently, I'd not left the run unscathed. I had left my childhood behind. If that was the price of this revelation, then so much the better. Oakville was a sick place. I saw it now, as I had never been able to before. I remembered my great-grandmother's soul, mouthing the word run. I had the impression that she hadn't just been talking about tonight. It will take planning and strength. I said, I'm too weak now, but as soon as I turn 18, we're going to try. Well, Lily said, until then, we need to defrost you. How about that hot chocolate? I smiled at her, loving her. Sure, I said. Hot chocolate sounds great. After all, humans need to be fed too. Subscribe to become a delicious darling. Brilliant. Good won the day. But gosh, wasn't it a close one? I definitely agree with the narrator. Oakville is not a place to stay. I hope they put it in their rear-view mirror and never stop driving. What did you think of the story? Would you have had the courage to run the gauntlet of the old village? I don't think I would. Today's word for the comments is fear. Type it and tell me when in your life you have been most afraid. If you want Uphanth and me to be cozy and warm this winter, please click like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to become a part of our Spooky Cookie family. Not only will you avoid missing more great content, but you will also become an official delicious darling. Right. I have a new story to translate for next week, so I will bid you all a pleasant evening. Until we meet again, never follow strange pale lights away from the edge of town. Turn for home if you hear thin eerie singing, and carry holy water and a torch. If you venture to strange places alone, and sleep well, my delicious darlings.